I'm going to call the meeting to order here for August 20th, 2024 at 6 o'clock. We're going to have board member roll call, approval of agenda, approval of minutes for July 2nd, 24. BCRC update, meeting schedule, review and discussion, updated zoning bylaws, reflections, and discussion continued. And then I'm going to drop the number 7 for tonight, the planning commission rules. We'll take that out before we do it. And then public comment and adjournment. So board member roll call. Start, Jimmy.
Winchester.
Bob Jarvis.
Megan Randall.
Brian Harris.
Stacy Boxer.
And John Bashy. Approval of agenda.
A motion that we do approve it.
Okay.
With proposed changes?
No.
Well, because he's
Yeah.
proposing we drop.
Taking on number 7.
Oh, with the, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, with the, yes. Sorry about that.
That's it. Second.
I'll second the,
All right, we have motion and
Changes.
second, and a vote of Jay around the table.
Aye.
Egan,
Yay.
Bob,
Aye.
aye.
aye, and I'm an
Oh,
aye.
we're all oppositional today.
Or somewhere else.
Approval of minutes for July 2nd, 24. And there's only 4 of us here for that discussion. And Michelle is not with us tonight. So,
I have to abstain.
yeah, and
You won't be able to.
we won't be able
You're
to.
just gonna, you're gonna have to postpone
Yeah.
these minutes.
So we're postponing the minutes till next meeting.
And hopefully you have all 4 of those members here.
For sure. Okay, we'll postpone that. Moving on to number 4, which is BCRC initial findings and presentation date discussion.
So
What do we have?
Scott Line from BCRC reached out to me and they're wrapping up with their initial findings from the municipal planning grant that they're executing for us right now. And they wanted to know if October 1st at 6 p.m. would be a good time to present their findings to you guys, if that worked for you. Is that
What day?
October 1st? It is Tuesday.
Good with me.
I think it'll work.
Yeah.
Not
Good with me.
I'll be in Minneapolis.
Yeah, everybody sounds like we're good with most everybody.
Let me
Yep.
know.
Perfect.
Yep.
Sounds good. Okay, moving on to meeting schedule, review and discussion. So what we're set up for right now is currently 1 meeting a month. Does anybody feel that we need to go 2 meetings a month, or 1 meeting right now is good with everybody?
Sounds good to me.
I think 1 meeting is plenty. I mean, if something comes up and for whatever reason we need to meet, we can always try to schedule a special one.
Right.
Yeah.
But that, as a planning commission, that usually does not ever happen. So I'm fine with 1 a month.
Okay.
Well, let me, I'll check while we're talking, I'll check the website. I'm fine with 1 a month also. The website actually used to say twice a month. I don't know if it still does, but we probably want that to match.
Yes. What was it?
It says the first and third.
Yeah. there's-
Well, we're going to need to go back to that once we actually start doing substantive work on the town plan, but that's not happening yet. And
Right.
also I'm feeling with the reading of this information we got from the state that it's very hard for me I don't have enough experience with zoning and so forth to know. And I'd like to know how other people feel about it. To know, I need to be able to compare them to the town plan. You know, and talk about, well, this is different, this will be different. You know, I'm having trouble grasping where the changes, exactly what's changed.
Yeah,
And I'm
that
not
would be
a bad
good.
reader.
To that point, I think it would be good to have something either from the state or somewhere that summarizes the whatever the changes are that are going to impact planning commissions.
Well, we
I-
do have that, we have that kind of a graph where that each, it's not even really a narrative at all. It's just
No.
a graph. But I still like, I don't find it very, very helpful because I don't recognize, what we have. Do you know? I think if we could sit down and compare and contrast, I think we might get further
Did
than just
BCRC,
discussing.
did you guys consult with them last time the bylaws
Yes.
were updated?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Yes,
That might be
they had a grant and they did a lot of the work. And
I remember that. They took out
they did a
lot
great
of
job, and I
redundancy out
think
of
we
it.
should.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think we
there's-
should hire them again, or whatever it takes. We should
that might
request
be
that they.
something to bring up to select board,
Right.
that we might need to look into that.
Yeah, we could do that if everybody feels that that's what we should be looking into. I mean, we got them working on a project right now, so
Yeah,
I think we should let them finish that project before we get them involved in something else. But the discussion is I think taking some of what Bob's saying too is was trying to focus on what specifically is going to affect us from the state.
Exactly, yeah.
It's very hard to know exactly which ones and what parts are for us or against us, and what we need to put in is what the hard part is. And that's why I was kind of having people read through some of the stuff. Again, I agree with Megan. It's very hard to read some of the stuff and what they put in place, whether it actually needs to be in our plans or if it's something we can just forget about and it doesn't work for us. But there is some things, I guess, that have to change that are in there that most towns don't have, that some new rules. So
It might be a
Maybe
bit of a
I'll-
long shot, but the VLCT, sometimes they have pretty good summaries and FAQs about changes. For example, the open meeting law. They don't just have an open meeting law that you can download. They give you their interpretation of it and what you really need to know, and it really is
Yeah.
written well. But they could have something about any changes that are going to impact planning commissions.
They probably do. That's a good point. I know that I tried to call and ask them some questions once, and I think if you want to contact them, you have to be specifically from the planning commission, and you have to have permission from the whole commission or something of that sort. Or maybe they want, like the chair.
Well, I don't
Yes.
remember exactly. It might be that we have to
Something.
request the select board to ask, but I don't think so. I mean,
No, I think we can, but
Powell
I
is
think
a
might have to be,
Powell is a member, so we
yeah,
do,
yeah.
and even if they don't have an answer, one of their attorneys might write something up.
Okay. I don't mind. I'll try reaching out to them and see if we can find something. We can
Yeah,
get a more direct answer.
Yeah, it doesn't specify parlance. It just generalizes throughout the state.
Mhm.
And if we want to zero in on something, we should zero in on specifically for
Well-
us.
yeah, that's why BCRC is helpful, because they really do have a history having helped to write what we have now. So
Sure.
they have a much, and they do this all the time, and they have much better sense of,
Well, I think that's true, and I think it's two steps. I think we ought to get something to find out if the VLCT has some summary, and then
Yes.
once we have that, we can
Yeah.
engage the
Then
BCRC
we'll-
to help us compare it to our bylaws.
yes,
Mhm.
we'll be more intelligent that way, more informed. That's good point. So, John, you'll get in touch with them
Yeah, I'll reach out to them, see if I can get any information from them.
And I can look on VLCT, I'm really familiar with their website, so I can look and see on there if I can find anything. We do have a portal with them, so I can reach out to them.
Okay. Yeah, and Hannah's gonna try too, so. That'll see if we can get anything. Um,
If,
So-
can you get that to us, you know, right away or?
yes, if we come up with something, I'll make sure to get it out to everybody. Get an email. Is anybody still not getting their emails?
Yes.
I was asking about that. So do they disappear on you at all when you open them?
I have some kind of Hannah says it just it won't let me get anything. I can't
Okay.
get in.
All right. She's checking into that too. So,
Yeah, she has the IT
All right.
guys looking at it.
now do you guys want to, or I should say it this way, what's the pleasure of the board on taking in some time or a meeting to discuss, the town plan again and see if there's anything in it that needs to be updated to today's standard versus when it was done? You guys interested?
Well, I would think we should do the VLCT contacting about the Act 250 changes because that's going to
that's
possibly
gonna be a
direct
big
some of the
change.
changes that are going to be made. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole about possible changes to town plan and find out Act 250 already negates that or nope, you
Yeah.
can't do that. Let's get that out of the way first and then go from there. That's my feeling.
Sounds good.
What I was seeing though is that Act 250 seems to allow a greater range of than the range of how big a building can be and or a development can be and it's kind of more lenient, I thought. It doesn't seem like it's stricter.
Well, all of the criticism over the last several decades has been that it's too strict. So you would think
Yeah.
that if they're going to revise it, they would make it more lenient.
Yeah, you would,
Certainly
one would
hope
hope.
Yeah.
More lenient and more accessible verbally.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Hey, any other discussion on it? Hearing none, we'll move on. So we're down to public comment.
There's nobody on.
Nobody online?
We have one in person.
We have Fred.
I dropped in because I was interested to find out if anything at all has been done regarding the previous report that BCRC did for Powell. Identified industrial commercial areas. They made some recommendations of some things that could be done, and I just wonder if any conversation has occurred on the town level regarding that, or just.
John, you were going to be speaking.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be looking at on the October meeting. Is more of that discussion from that. They are reviewing it. They found some locations from the last stuff we talked about. So they'll be doing more of a presentation and update of what those areas include.
Well, I'm interested in seeing if anything's actually gonna be pursued.
Mhm.
And I'd be interested in hearing some discussions somewhere about the infrastructure of this town. What we would need to actually attract some development in the town. Identify some of the things that need to be improved. For our, brought up to date on our infrastructure.
Mhm.
Roads, widths, I don't know. Sidewalks would be any part of the discussion or not, that might be way down the road. I'm interested to hear those types of conversations.
I'm interested in knowing whether, John, whether you've gotten any further connections to Mac Molding. You were talking about maybe having someone come in and talk to us.
Yes, right now,
Not
I'm
in the summer.
trying to get them to come in or management level come in. They're straight out busy doing, with the building down there, trying to get it, the updates done that they're doing on it. was roof, some interior that had flooding inside one of the lower parts of the building, where the ramp section is, on the south end. So they're trying to get all the remediation done on that. And then right now, their current plan, they said, was to have it as storage right now. But there is some options for the future. They just don't know what that is yet. They have to do meetings themselves. So, but that could potentially be more than just a storage building down the road. So
Yeah.
once they have an idea of where they want to go, or they're going to be building new buildings, then they will definitely get back in touch with me on that. They just don't have a good plan on it yet.
So going, I think it's kind of related, but going a little bit back to what Fred was talking about, I guess once we hear from the BCRC on and we did hear already about where the industrial areas could be, right? They came through with a couple of maps and sort of this is where we think it might be. I guess there's two approaches that we can take when we get all that, and one can be to ask the select board whether or not they think it's worth it to revise our current bylaws, or is that just going to be an input when we rewrite the town plan and then out of the town plan come up with new bylaws? There's advantages and disadvantages to both, but the advantage that I see of revising our current bylaws with the input that we get from the BCRC for industrial areas is it sends a clearer message to at least anyone who might be thinking about building something, that Pownell is serious about inviting larger employers.
Mhm.
But those are the kinds of things I think we need to think about, and maybe get BCRC's input on it as well. But we'll have to, whatever we decide might be the best thing to do, we're going to have to lobby the select board to take action on it.
Yep.
Is that building that you're talking about vacant?
No,
No, that's the one down on 346. It's a storage building for Mac.
And they've got storage in there?
It is there, yeah, it's packed full of stuff that they're
Okay.
storing it's for the building up there. They just ship it back and forth right now.
Okay.
And they were talking about possibly bringing some operations into that building or into a building back in 2018, and it didn't happen. But hopefully they're still thinking about that. Certainly good to have them in Pownell, but it would be nice if they expanded operations here as well.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify Fred's comment, just because there's been some confusion about it, the BCRC, their, study that they did for these zoning areas, that was a completely different, project than they're going to be coming to the town for, on October 1st. The one on October 1st is for Center Street improvements.
Okay,
So
okay.
totally different.
Gotcha.
The project that they executed in 2023 for the zoning areas, that is a completed project. They've published their final report. I do have that. If anybody wants to see it, I can send that out via email.
That was the one with the maps?
Yes, and that is something that, if we were updating bylaws or the town plan, that we could reference that to see if you want to make any
That's what I
changes.
was referring to.
Yes, and we have not had any further discussion on that since they presented their final report.
Yeah, so to that point, and that's what I thought also. I mean, I realized these were two separate initiatives. I just wasn't sure if they were going to be talking about both of them on October 1st. But it sounds like they're coming back on October 1st for just the town green.
That's correct.
And that's fine too. That's, one thing at a time. So if we already have the report on which we do, I think we've all seen it, the report on the zoning. I think maybe we should schedule some time, put it on a future agenda for the planning commission to talk about what we think ought to happen with that.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Do we want to push a change to the bylaws now? Do we want to just wait? I mean, if we wait, it's going to be years, right? We have to write the town plan first. It has to get ratified. After that, then we'll get into the the bylaws. Those take a while to write. So we're looking at years down the line before any action gets taken on that zoning if we don't do something in between.
Mhm.
In between town
Which zoning in particular are you thinking of, Bob?
Well,
I mean-
remember the BCRC came back with, when
Yeah, I
the
do. I
select board
remember.
had asked about whether or not they can find areas for larger employers.
Yeah, no, I
And they did-
remember all that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. So if,
Which, I'm trying to remember which, I don't think, I don't remember what needed to be rezoned.
no, it wasn't that anything
No, it
needed to be rezoned. The select board at the time asked the planning commission through, asked the BCRC through the planning commission to see if they could find areas where it'd be suitable for larger employers. And that's
I
what they
know
came
that.
back and gave us.
Mhm.
So if we're, unless we're just gonna sit on that until the next town plan,
Yeah.
we've kind of wasted some time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my impression. I'm sorry, Megan, did I not answer your question?
No, yeah, no, I was asking what specific, you know, pieces of property need to be rezoned by, they didn't mention
didn't-
anything about the one out, out by the railroad track and the entrance to town. That was not on the board. That was not on there.
No, we didn't ask anything specific. I think when we were asking, when the select board was asking, we were asking them to take a look at the town holistically and come back with some areas that might be suitable for larger employers, but we didn't ask them to rezone specifics.
No, I know they didn't, but I'm just asking, were there specific spots that need rezoning that?
No, that's not the way we approached it. That's why I'm having trouble with the question. The
Okay.
approach was, let's
Never mind.
just ask the BCRC whether or not they could find areas that were suitable for larger employers in
Mhm.
Pownell. And we
Mhm.
didn't say anything specific about, look at this area, look at that area. It was just general. And they did come back with a couple of areas. I don't think they made major changes to our zoning. They just found
No, they weren't, that wasn't their remit. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, I'm trying to remember, were there places that they suggested that would need to be rezoned, and we know it, we can see that clearly, I mean.
Oh, that
you
could be part of the report. That's a good question. So, and actually, Hannah, could you, I hate to ask you to do this, could you dig up that report and resend it to the entire planning commission?
Yeah, absolutely,
So
definitely.
we've got it at the top of our inbox.
Yes.
Hopefully it stays in our boxes.
Well, seeing as the BCRC is going to be here on October 1st, do we want to try to pull a meeting together before then? To have the discussion regarding,
Well, we can have it at our September meeting. We can
Yeah,
do a September
September.
meeting, yeah.
okay, so do it then? All
Before, yeah,
right,
yeah,
well then why don't we put that on the agenda for then?
yeah. For our next
What
meeting.
is, what are we looking at for September meeting? The first Tuesday or?
And that will be a meeting before BCRC comes because they won't be here.
Yeah, I got to admit, when I said that, I was thinking it was already September.
September 3rd,
What day does that fall on?
the first Tuesday is September 3rd.
It's going to be right after Labor Day.
Well, I'll be back in town from that vacation, so I can make that one.
I'll be
Well,
here.
let's see. If it's a 3-day weekend, everybody has to stop drinking at noon on Monday. So,
I politely disagree.
If I recall.
So September 3rd is good for,
There were some,
Yeah, I'm fine with the 3rd, the 10th, either one of those should be good.
I'm good with either.
I mean, if the 3rd doesn't work because it's too close to the holiday weekend, I'm fine with the 10th.
You know, the Conservation Commission also meets on a Tuesday night.
yeah, I'm just gonna say that. Is anybody on the 10th? Do we have
Yes.
anybody at that time or?
Yeah, they might be on the 10th because they either do the 2nd or the 4th, so they might.
They are usually the 2nd and the 4th, I think.
All right, let's try to aim for the 3rd then.
Yeah, we'll shoot for the 3rd.
Third's good with me.
That's
3rd,
sick.
That's,
February 3rd it is,
yeah, 3rd,
September 3rd,
September 3rd, yeah.
okay, first Tuesday.
another comment. As I recall, from looking at the report, there were some really intriguing ideas that they included on possible things that could be developed in town. The one thing was like focusing on the senior living out in the fields by Dollar General.
Yeah.
I mean, I started picturing that and it makes a lot of sense. You know, you got stores right in the area. Possibly you could have other stores and seniors could be able to be a little bit self-sufficient.
Well, I think that would fit in with the current town plan, because didn't the town plan, it's been a while since I read it, forgive me. Didn't it call for like more centralized housing
Right.
within the town?
Yes, that's
And then-
the whole state plan. That's what.
Yeah,
That's their whole thrust right now.
Hear those kind of discussions and that kind of planning where you kind of look at what the possibilities are and what kind of infrastructure improvements you're gonna need to make, should somebody wanna do that, make it happen.
Yeah. yeah, so if Hannah sends out that report back to everybody, we all review it, and then when we come back to that meeting, I think we'll be a little bit better prepared.
If it just sits in a file somewhere without any action, I can imagine opportunities could be missed. Because there's been no attention put into it, no focus, no thought. So, you know.
I think we've been thinking about it. I disagree with that. It's not that we haven't thought about it, but I mean, what substantive steps do we need to take? You know, I mean, should we be calling possible developers? You know, I mean, are we to become salespersons? It's kind of a,
Wouldn't hurt. Wouldn't hurt.
Change in the bylaws or comp plan if you wanted those areas to be rezoned. Not necessarily.
If rezoning would even be required, depending on what area we're talking about.
Yeah, there were a couple that they came up with that would require some rezoning. And then there were some that maybe some solicitation. My point that I was making earlier is that if we actually took some action and changed some zoning laws, change some of our zoning areas, that might make a banner article, which might be somewhat advertising that we're trying to be more business friendly.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that. So,
And that would attract some builders,
well, potentially,
developers.
yeah.
All right, so we'll shoot for that. I'm gonna look into the VLTC stuff and the Act 250,
Need sunglasses here.
and we'll shoot for the 3rd.
That's why I
Our
put it back
meeting,
window.
we'll have some
Need to
discussion
move
on that
that way.
stuff. Everybody all set with this stuff? So I'll look, entertain a motion to adjourn
I'll make a motion, we adjourn. Second.
and vote around the
Aye.
table.
I.
Aye.
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 I'm an aye.
I mean.
Aye, aye, Captain.
All right,
Aye, aye.
motion carries. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, have a good night.
Night.
And off to the Parks and Rec meeting, down to the park.